An open space in this project is a space where you have the safety to express yourself without the fear of being looked down on or being silenced. It's a space where the creator of the space, the facilitator or moderator, is going to acknowledge that we all have knowledge, that all knowledge is incomplete and partial, and that we are here in the space to explore and unpack our own knowledge and to engage critically with the knowledge of others. There are 4 components of an open space. The first component is the idea of multiple perspectives. The idea that there are multiple ways of relating to anything, to any topic that you can come up with. There are different ways of thinking about that and different ways of relating to that. So different cultures, different individuals will have different thoughts about the same thing. The second component of the space is that there should be no competition for the truth. So we're not opening a space to find one specific, better answer to a kind of problem or to a situation. We are entering a space, we're creating a space to explore different perspectives. So people shouldn't be competing against each other for who's got the truth or whose truth is better. So the idea of the space is to engage critically with everything, and the more perspectives there are, the better. The third component of the space is that it should be open-ended. It should be open-ended in terms of responses. So you shouldn't try to impose your own response on the students. So if you start a space thinking that you have the intent that the students will agree with you at the end of the space, it's not going to work. So it better use another methodology, another strategy to do that. Now, if you want to start a space to explore different angles of the same problem, of the same issue, then that's a good methodology to try, because the idea is to explore different ways of thinking about the same thing. The fourth component of the space is difference, cognitive dissonance, and conflict. This idea of conflict in the space is really important, because if we do have consensus, if we do have the group coming together to think about one specific issue in one specific way, and to think that that's the best way to think about that, the role of the facilitator is to come up with something else that will challenge that. So you are constantly challenged, and the moderator, facilitator, models this way of thinking about different things, always outside the box. So when there is consensus, or there's a move towards consensus, the role of the facilitator is to challenge that and bring people back to dissensus, to dissonance, to conflict. Conflict and dissonance, of course, in a positive way. We don't have to be aggressive when we don't agree with other people. And the moment we decide that we don't want conflict, we don't want dissonance, it's the moment we decide that it's okay, I don't need to learn anything else. So conflict and dissonance in this project are seen as very positive and necessary things. We need to learn to live with difference. We need to learn from difference, to learn to think in different ways, to go beyond our own understandings of the issues we are talking about within the space. So there's 4 components. The first one, multiple perspectives. The second one, the lack of competition, so no competition for the truth. The third one, the open-endedness. And the fourth one, conflict, difference, and dissonance in the space, are what makes the space safe. The safety of the space depends on these 4 components. So if you don't have any of those, people in the methodology or in process of participating in the space won't be able to create the relationships that are necessary so that to feel the safety to express themselves. So if they feel, for example, that there is a right answer that the teacher has or the moderator has that they need to agree with, they will either tend to agree with that or rebel against that or disagree with that. But this won't say much about what they really think. This is going to be a power dynamics with the person who's got the truth. Of course, this can happen anyway with any facilitator, but the idea of this space is to try to create the conditions for people to express themselves and change their minds in a safe way.